Welcome back to the Rhino Show. I'm Austin. As always, I'm joined by Tal
Hey y'all.
and our special guest this week, Danny Phillip.
How's it going, guys?
So you are the president of Turning Point at Ohio State, correct?
Yep.
So tell everyone a little bit about all of that and what you like to do at these colleges, Turning Point.
Well, we like to argue with liberals, face a lot of backlash, but it's pretty fun. We got a big event. Charlie Kirk's coming to campus March 22nd, so we're looking to get about 1,200 students to that. So yeah, looking forward to it. A lot of protests already planned, so
Oh
yeah,
my
should
gosh.
be should be an interesting couple of weeks here.
Is it for just Ohio State students or is it for like other students also?
It can be for other students. We have a bunch of students coming from University of Pittsburgh, so they're driving like 3.5 hours just to see Charlie, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool. So yeah, they're coming from all over the place, but then
that's
again,
pretty
so are the protesters. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's great. Gotta love the protesters. But I can't help but think, that's Ohio State, which is located in Ohio for anyone that didn't know. Ohio is the
No.
place that Joe Biden won't go to. So don't worry, Joe Biden will not be your protest. I don't know if a bunch of liberals will go there because they're kind of trying to ignore the whole Ohio situation right now. Pete Buttigieg went there finally though, so I guess that's a step in the right direction. He only went there like 3 weeks after he should have, but it's great to see the administration finally stepping in and doing something.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really annoyed of like the way that Democrats are like talking about this whole situation lately because we know Trump went there. He donated pallets of water and cleaning supplies and whatnot, but they were saying that his intentions were wrong and whatever. And like I'm over here like whether his intentions were good or not that good, he still helped those families that were, their lives got flipped upside down. And he was there. And where are you talking about the president of the United States right now? It's crazy to me that we expect more from Donald Trump than our own president. That says so much. But
Yeah.
um,
Oh
Yeah,
man.
they sat back and did nothing. At least he came, helped the people out, but that's typical government.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, at least we had some Democrat politicians saying that they wish that we did more to help with the recovery and that um, Pete showing up so late was absolutely absurd because why?
Yeah. Trump, he
Did
basically played
it take
dress up
someone so
though.
long to get there?
Or
And I really wonder why Biden is a nation.
yeah. Um Trump showed up. He didn't play dress up like Buttigieg. So I don't know if you guys saw that clip, but Buttigieg was complaining about white people in the construction force. And then he shows up being a white guy playing dress up 3 weeks late. It's like, do you not see a problem here? Like you're just complaining about white people and you show up as a white person dressed up looking like you're gonna do something. In
Like
reality, it was a
Zelensky
photo
dressed up
shoot.
for war.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like. But you want to complain about Trump going to buy people McDonald's and bringing all these supplies. It's like Trump's as close to an everyday citizen as you can get out of a politician. Like he literally is like, I know the McDonald's menu better than you. And I don't doubt that. He likes his McDonald's. But
Yeah.
people want to say it's all for political gain, which don't get me wrong, there probably is some motive for that. It makes him look good, but at the same time, he actually cares. And that's something that Biden does not, because as this clip I'm about to play, Biden clearly states he doesn't want to go. He's already done his job. So let me play this real quick.
This time was not. I did a whole video. I mean, what the hell? On Zoom? Zoom. All I see every time I think of Zoom is that song in my generation. Who's zooming who? Let me answer the question. The answer is that I had a long meeting with my team and what they're doing. We were there 2 hours after the train went down. 2 hours. I've spoken with every single major figure in both Pennsylvania and in Ohio. And so the idea that we're not engaged is just simply not there. initially there was not a request for me to go out, even before I was heading over to speak. So keeping very close tabs on it. Sir, California, sir.
Yeah. So Biden, he doesn't know what Zoom is. Sounds like somebody I know. He then proceeds to talk about a song from his day. Yeah, like we don't really care, Joe. And then doesn't take any questions, turns his back to the American people and walks away. Talk about symbolic, because that's what he's done his whole presidency. Turned his back and walked away from the American people.
Walk towards ice cream trucks.
Yes, there may be one in the distance. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna take such like a disgusting, absurd stance on the situation, at least like practice your BS excuses before, like you're gonna be questioned about it. Yeah. It's just bound to happen. So.
Yeah, I like how he says, like, oh yeah, I talked with everyone, and then they go, so if you talked with the mayor, oh no, I don't plan to talk to the mayor. It's like, okay, well then you haven't talked to everyone. That's the guy who would know better than anyone what's going on there. So. Yeah,
like, Joe, who have you talked to then?
Yeah, he was probably talking to his bookshelf, his desk. I mean, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Like, I'm sorry for anyone that had to sit through that, but if we had to hear it, you got to hear from the man himself, and it's really sad to see. I mean, yeah, like you said, they don't even like prep him anymore for his speeches. They just let him say whatever he wants. He's talking about songs from 60 years ago, give or take 10 years, who knows with his age. But the dementia is really kicking in. I can't even believe they let him answer like 2 questions. He should have turned his back sooner, I guess.
Honestly, why would they even try at this point though? Because this man has said such absurd things before, and everyone just turns a blind eye to it. We're like, oh, it's Joe Biden, that's why. They don't have to try. Why would they?
Yeah, I mean, the guy who was talking about rubbing his hairy legs, and we're surprised he's now talking about some song from 60 years ago or whatever. I mean, he'll say anything. He's literally like Ron Burgundy and Anchorman with the teleprompter. If you just put something on there, he'll say it. I think they might just start doing that, just to sabotage him.
Yeah, just like you did before. End of line, repeat sentence, or whatever it was. Like,
Yeah,
he's already done it before. Oh man, but yeah, he won't go to Ohio, but he's been in Ukraine. He had to go visit his buddy Zelensky. Those two look like they're about to make out or something in that one picture. That looked kind of gay. But anyway, that's where his priorities are at. America last, Ukraine first. So, Tal, I know you're a big Ukraine supporter. What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, every single time that I think about Zelensky at this point, I saw a video before, and it was of Zelensky dancing, and I keep on forgetting that this man like acted. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that video, and then I questioned maybe him and Biden are going to hold hands or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It was bad. I can't ever unsee that.
Watching has not seen that video. I retweeted it, so
yeah, go check that out.
Oh my gosh, that's literally all I think about. But yeah, it's just down to like the way that they dress when they meet each other for these things too. Honestly, we know that this money is just going to Ukraine to cover up that family's crimes. So, but yeah, Zelensky's always like dressed down. He's like in his sweats and stuff, and then Biden's like dressed up to meet this guy.
Yeah, it's a terrible look for us. I mean, the guy didn't have enough respect.
Millions of dollars weren't a terrible look for us. It's definitely the clothes.
Yeah. I mean, just like if you're going to steal money, at least dress up for the act, right? Like most con artists at least look good when they steal the money, I think. Like, I think that's a general stereotype. This guy comes over looking like he's homeless. Look, I mean, he does look like he's in the war. I mean, I'll give it to him. He's played this part for a year now. He's must be a great actor. He's getting all the money he needs. But
this whole thing is ridiculous. Obviously, they don't want peace there. Money is in war, and that's what this is for. But I don't know.
Yeah, it was never about peace. It never will be about peace. It's about control. And it's about just the further destruction of the United States. The more money we give away, the weaker we get in every facet. And so Biden's going along with that because obviously he's all for the destruction of the United States. and the destruction of our country. So they're just going to keep pushing it on and on.
These people, though, like, we don't care that our tax money is being, used to fund this fake war.
You would
Like,
think.
Democrat, Republican, potato, I don't care. Your tax money is going to fund this BS war. We don't even know where this money is going.
The media, well, yeah, all the Democrats voted against auditing of the money because most of that money's then funneling back into their pockets, as we saw with the FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. They're all bought off, they're all paid for, and at some point, the American people are just going to have to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
I think a conversation we got to have now is Russia really the big bad enemy that the media is portraying? And a lot of conservatives don't want to have this talk, but I think it's time we have this talk. So we're going to create some enemies, but guess what? I don't care. I like doing that. Um, so you listen to Putin speak, right? Then you listen to Zelensky or Biden speak. I think it's clear just by the speeches alone, who, if you did not know their backstory or who was representing who would sound like the good guy? And I'd say everyone with a brain would say Putin would sound like the good guy. Would you not agree?
He sounds like he has a little bit of common sense. Right now, he's just sitting there mocking us, rightfully so, because did you hear that speech of his? He was talking about how we are normalizing pedophilia and the mocking of children and perversion, and how, we have lost literally all morals, values, everything, that we once had. Even our religion is just twisted. Here we have priests blessing same-sex marriages and so on. He's the only one that sounds like he has a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, I saw that video. I encourage everyone to go check it out. Like you said, he's literally breaks down everything, right? Everything he said is correct, and we have politicians on both sides of the aisle that will not call anything out, but yet Putin will do it, and he's factually correct. And we just don't have politicians have the balls to say what needs to be said, because whether you're Republican or Democrat, they're all bought, they're all paid for it. They don't really care about the interest of the people or our country. So it's amazing that it has to be a foreign leader to actually state what's going on in our own country.
Yeah.
But our government is the downfall, big time.
Yeah, I would say he's a bad guy still, but at least he puts his country first, and I respect that. All these other countries, Germany, Italy, all of them, France, all the European countries in the United States, Canada, they all push for other countries before themselves, especially the United States. And at least I can respect the fact that he puts his country first and he respects their interests ahead of other countries.
Yeah. And I think, obviously, I mean, we could say every world leader is a bad guy. It's just the scale of how bad they are. I mean, yeah, you might say Putin's a bad guy because of what he's done in his past. Biden's a bad guy too. I mean, we're not going to ignore that. These world leaders, especially like the Biden administration, you look at our politicians, you look at Hillary Clinton, you look at Barack Obama, like these people are bad too. It's just how the media portrays them really determines their outlook. They try to make Putin seem worse than he is. Like this whole war, this is a civil war between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky and Biden are trying to turn this into a world war. I wouldn't say Russia's the one pushing for world war, but I'd say it's definitely it America is doing more harm than good, because we are pushing for world war more than Russia is, I guess, is where I'll leave it. But yeah, that until our government turns its way around, we're always going to be in this position, because that's how we make our money. We love war. So,
well, because we're just instigating this entire thing right now anyways.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's the exact same scenario as when we went to Iran and Afghanistan and all of that.
Honestly, we're out here, like, oh, China's the enemy, Russia's the enemy. Like, no, it is your own government. It's our government. We're the enemy.
Yeah, every branch of the government. We can go all the way down to the FBI. Just remember what they were doing over the summer. So, top to the bottom.
Yep.
You know what else is an enemy? These fake conservatives. They're some really bad enemies to have on our side. Jeffree Star, have you guys seen that thing?
Yeah, it's been shared everywhere by these conservatives, these conservative organizations, these presidents of these conservative organizations. Some of the biggest conservative influencers I've heard of. They're sharing this crazy video around of Jeffree Star now being some role model for the conservatives, which is just mind-blowing to me because he said one thing and he was saying that they thems was a little bit ridiculous. It's just stuff that was made up during the pandemic while he is sitting there in high heels.
I can't with this thing. So let me play this clip for you real quick, and listen to this thing, and then we'll make fun of it afterwards.
I'm not into all the other bullshit. I think
What other bullshit?
the they and them.
Yeah.
And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their fucking houses. They just started to make up more shit and more shit.
More stuff.
Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative
you're not
vibe
they
to
and
you.
them. You're trans, you're male, or you're female.
And you're
And
standing on
people
that.
get so mad when I say that. How are you a they? What the fuck does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic. You hate trans people. You hate gays. And it's just how you feel. You don't hate anyone. You just think it's stupid.
Yeah, a real conservative like me, he said, I guess he's a creature, I'd call him. I don't know what you call him, but yeah, he's a real conservative. And then you look at him, yeah, he's nothing of a conservative.
Yeah, for that guy to be like, oh, you have a conservative vibe about you. Like, no, sir, you do not. You were sitting there in high heels. He's out there like, oh, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. Like,
I can't.
ain't no way.
But laugh when I see, like, first of all, it gives me nightmares just looking at that thing because that thing's like straight out of like a horror movie. Okay, I don't know if it's a clown or just something from sci-fi, I guess. But and then it really has the nerve to say, well, it's just stupid. Yeah, clown. Yeah, it's just over here like, yeah, that's stupid. You need someone like me to say it, or you'll get called homophobic or transphobic or something. It's like, yeah, conservatives are literally using you and propping you up because of the way you look so stupid that they are using you to push your talking point across. Like, they are literally using you because you look stupid. Please get that through your head, okay? These people, this is what they do. They'll find a gay person that says one thing, right? They'll find this thing in a dress, and they'll use that person until their talking points wear out. That's what these conservative events do. That's what I guarantee you Jeffree Star is at some conservative events in the future because this will be the face of the party for the next couple months because they said something relevant. That's all it takes.
I have two things to say.
Yeah,
Number one, I never want to hear the word stupid come out of that thing's mouth ever again, because right now he is married to a guy, right? That guy is still identifying as straight. I don't know how that really works. I don't understand that. But also, number two, I think it's a horrible look for conservatives to be posting this dude around. Do you know how many serious allegations he's had against him? How he was asking for pics of little boys and talking about boys' private parts when they're online when they were only 16 years old and stuff. Like, we are literally promoting this pedophile, putting him on a pedestal for what? Because he said one thing. That's what these people do, though. They create such absurd stories, right? There's they, thems, tomatoes and wolves and whatever the hell you can identify as a carpet if you want to. That's fine. And then they backtrack a little bit, and then they try to get you on board with less absurd things. Like, now conservatives are, we're going the whole they, them route is crazy, but I'm sitting in front of you with high heels on right now and I'm a dude, so accept me because it's a little less freaking insane. And we do, and we're posting it around like it's the right thing, like we support this.
Yeah, what I think is stupid, Jeffrey, is wearing high heels, makeup, and women's clothing, and going around obviously saying the things he said in the past. That's what I think is stupid. I feel like it's the same type of thing where we, as conservatives, tried to say that the Caitlyn Jenner or whatever was somehow a conservative, and that we were gonna back her for governor of California. It's just like, our standards suddenly drop whenever conservatives just hear one talking point that they agree with. And that's something that we need to change, is that we can't just let our standards drop because they want our standards to drop. That's why these people are coming out saying this, because every time our standards drop, their standards go up and they get more voters. So our main thing is we have to stay strong to what we actually believe in and stop bowing down to them, because they're never going to give us what we want anyway. So why are we bowing down in the first place?
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, we just saw that too with the whole Rihanna thing. We bent our beliefs and our morals, and we had conservative influencers out there posting her, propping her up, saying, "Oh my gosh, she's pregnant and she did this and whatever," totally ignoring the satanic symbolism that was behind her performance and shaming conservatives for sticking to their beliefs and saying that things were wrong with it. And we just that was just another example of how we posted this girl around, promoted this girl, and we were bending our beliefs and our morals and our values because these conservative influencers, like, oh, we're never going to win the culture war if we do this. This is one, I don't think they understand what a culture war is, because bending your beliefs and that's losing a culture war. But this is just a spiritual war more than anything. So
Yeah.
It's truly, I love the saying, give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for a glass of milk. Never bend to them whatsoever. Never give them an inch, because they're always going to want more anyways. So that's where I never see the point. It's like never negotiating with terrorists. It's the same type of thing. I don't understand why we want to do it.
Yeah.
So I got two things to state here. Number one, Danny, I know you're a guest on the show, but I got to go over some rules real quick. You stated that Caitlyn Jenner was a she. That is a man. That is a he. We don't do this woke stuff on the show.
I apologize. Yes, I agree. That was my bad.
All right, just clarifying here. That is a man. And second thing, now I forget what I was about to say because I was so happy to say that one.
It's okay. I
Crap.
messed up the he she thing the last episode too. I'm still here, so
yeah,
you're good. You're fine.
I'm just gonna start calling them it's. That's better.
Yeah.
I got it. The second thing, these influencers, especially on Twitter, where this guy likes to make a living, that thinks he's the president of some certain organization, that likes to, grab his crotch and sniff his fingers like Rihanna and then say he's going to be a backup dancer. You need to get a life. Your opinion sucks, and you're calling out other conservatives because we dare question this. Like, you say you can question things, and then you try to laugh at conservatives. Like, no, bro, get out of Hollywood or out LA, wherever you're at. It already has changed your mind for the worse. Rethink things. Don't post as much, and stop being a fake conservative, because you being Rihanna's little hype, you want to be a dancer, you said? Hype dancer? Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You're basically saying that's your queen, and I don't support that kind of shit. So move on.
I don't understand any type of support being shown to Hollywood at this point, because we spend countless hours a day posting and talking and going to events and everything, speaking about how, no Hollywood, no, worshiping these people, these artists, and these, these influencers and singers and whatnot. And then that's exactly what they did. It's like situational. Everything is so situational with them.
Yep, that's what they do. These popular figures in the movement, they'll always state one thing, and then there'll be that certain individual at that right time, and they'll change all their beliefs on a dime and support it and act like you're the crazy ones for calling it out. It's what they do best.
I feel like that's a reason to why people our age, it's so hard for us to understand things that are happening in like politics and like in this whole space, because everyone just switches up. Like, you never know who's real, who's not, you know what I mean? And like you have to be careful who you support and stuff. You have to kind of take bits and pieces from people instead of like just following this one person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It gets so difficult because these people are so fake sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of fake people, not just in this movement, but in life in general. So watch out who you trust, I guess, is some life advice. Someone else that is fake, that likes to steal things, is Katie Hobbs. Danny, now I know you were looking into this more than me, but Katie Hobbs, let's just be real, stole an election that she was running herself with help from the cartel, I guess. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
So it goes much deeper than even Katie Hobbs. So it all started with this lawyer named John Thaler, who's part of this Harris Thaler law firm. And they uncovered that the Sonora cartel, which is the same cartel run by El Chapo,
What a guy.
was bribing officials. Yeah, was bribing officials all throughout the state of Arizona. And so he's looked at over 120,000 documents. And basically, he found that they were bribing public officials and bribing the election officials. So what they do is they hacked into state agency databases, and they uploaded fake documents to create fake people. And then they used these fake documents and gave these fake people fake college degrees and fake state licenses to make them eligible for the voter rolls, and then use those as votes to cast for them. And it was all based on that. And he also found that 25% of all active judges in Pima and Maricopa County are accepting bribes currently to allow these hackings into the system to continue. And so Katie Hobbs then, so what the cartel does is they give deeds of trust. So Katie Hobbs has 9 deeds of trust in her name. And some of these deeds have like title and mortgage companies that don't even exist. So the companies on the deeds aren't even actual companies. So obviously that's first step that it's a fraud. And it's pretty easy in that if the buyer exists, the mortgage is used as a way to provide the owner of the deed money. And if the buyer does not exist, then the mortgage just serves as means of money laundering for them. So the deeds and transfers have been made to Runbeck. You might have heard of them in the 2022 election. They are the biggest ballot printing in the state of Arizona. A bunch of the ballots, from that Dropbox 3, if you remember in Arizona, went to that Runbeck company for a couple days. Yeah, well, that Runbeck company has actually been receiving many deeds from the cartels themselves to the president and vice president of Runbeck themselves. So they've bought off the printing company, the Secretary of State, the governor, and the judges of Arizona. And if you want to talk about fake conservative, fake all of this evidence was given to Governor Doug Ducey in May of 2022. So before the November election, he could have stopped a lot of this. He knew about it, did nothing, and allowed for it to happen once again. And there's estimated 35,000 fake deeds of trust from the cartels. And some of these people that have been bought off include president and COO of Runbeck, Kirsten Sinema, Katie Hobbs, Adrian Fontes, who's Secretary of State, Bill Gates, not the creepy Bill Gates. There's a different creepy Bill
There's
Gates.
more than
This
one?
is the Bill Gates there's more than one. All right. This guy's the Maricopa County election supervisor. He ran the Dropbox 3 fiasco in the 2022 election. And so, the cartel has literally bought off the governor, secretary of state, state judges, and the ballot printing companies themselves. And so in return, they've basically bought all state elections further from here on out until someone actually does something. So we'll see where this goes from here. But they're just uncovering this now. But I mean, all this evidence was given to a Republican governor in May of last year, and he sat there and did nothing. Typical Republican establishment. They're afraid to act, typical, and we just let the Democrats walk all over us.
What a mess.
Wow, it's a lot of information to
mess.
process there. I guess I could sum it up real quick. Corruption runs deep in Arizona. I mean, let's be real. We all knew it was bad, but none of us knew it was that bad. I mean, at least I didn't think it was that bad.
Prayers for that lawyer guy, though. Oh my gosh, I really hope they don't.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah, they said his car spun out of control on the highway a couple weeks ago because cartels messed with the rims of his tires. So he was going 80 miles an hour, and then the car suddenly started flipping over and stuff. So yeah, I bet you he's not going to last very long. Hope he's got great security. We're going to need him, but it also is, if you think that Arizona is the only state that this is happening in, I gotta break it to you that I guarantee you it's almost every state. And the fact that it's taken just this guy who runs this law firm to uncover this, and our own FBI, who has the materials that could easily cover this, is too busy spending their time raiding Barron Trump's bedroom. It's a disgrace.
Yeah. Wow. It's quite the news coming out today. You know, it's always great when El Chapo's former cartel is basically running the state of Arizona. I mean, no wonder it took them forever to count these ballots because they had a lot of steps to go through. It's not just as simple as counting a piece of paper, you know.
Well, if you
Really,
remember,
though?
they made sure
No, go ahead.
that all. Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
They made sure that all outstanding ballots that quote needed to be counted had to go to that Runbeck facility, of course, because the Runbeck facility is getting paid off by the cartels, so they could do whatever they want in there. And if you also remember, that's where all chain of custody was lost in those Runbeck facilities. There was no one watching the ballots. So yeah, it's a big circle of corruption, and of course, it all goes back to the cartels paying off these certain people just to basically take control of the entire state.
It's just really sad because I feel like this is going to be another thing where no one acts, no one does anything, and nothing gets solved. Because right now we have how many stories circulating us, and even down to like the Pfizer thing. What's being done with that? Nothing.
Nothing ever happens.
The government finally admitted that COVID started in the Wuhan lab and was funded by the NIH. What's going to happen with that? Where's Fauci? Why is he not behind bars?
Yeah.
Well,
Why wasn't he behind bars years ago or months ago?
This is where Kevin McCarthy should be all over this story, because most Democrat Americans are still somewhat reasonable. And if you were to actually tell them the evidence and explain to them the corruption, not even that it's favoring one side or the other, just the corruption in general, they'd be all over trying to find what's actually going on. They don't want the cartels running their states. At least most of them don't. I know a couple of them probably do, but yeah, McCarthy's just dead quiet on it, and no one's talking about it. I'm guessing Tucker will probably be talking about it because he seems to be like the only one of the big newscasters that actually mention stuff like this. But yeah, our elected officials are just silent on it, and this could be it's the biggest story in the country, and I feel like it could help show Democrats the amount of fraud that's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
no one can deny election fraud. That's for sure.
Kevin McCarthy's swamp creature, though. We know he's never going to do anything. I mean, he literally gave the January 6th footage to Tucker instead of releasing it to people, like he said. So you might like Tucker, but he said he was giving it to the people, and he didn't. So that's already a strike against McCarthy. That's like the 75th one now. Like you said, we admitted that the leak happened. If we're admitting the leak happened, what's it going to be another 30 years before we admit that the leak was intentional? That's going to come out there on the road, right? That it was the actual attempt to start a war, chemical warfare, to kill these people across the globe. Eventually that'll come out too, but we're taking baby steps. We'll take this as a win for now. Us conspiracy theorists again, like 150 at this point or whatever, probably more. But baby steps, I guess, till we get the full story released.
Yeah, but it's even like once we get the full story, we still don't prosecute anyone. We still don't end up actually doing anything. But if it was a Republican, I mean, they'll prosecute them in 2 seconds. But if it's the other way around, it's just, oh yeah, you were caught, but yeah, we're still not going to prosecute you.
But corruption in our party runs deep.
Yeah, big time. Really,
I'm talking about you, DeSantis.
Yes.
Okay, Danny. Danny's based.
Just ask Jeb. Jeb Bush is all over it. George Soros is all over it. I mean, if we don't say anything, we can't just allow that guy. He's basically George Bush reincarnated as this younger guy pretending to be Donald Trump.
Thank you.
I mean, someone's got to say something. We can't just let this guy get in there and then suddenly betray us once again.
That's what they do.
We've had so many conversations with each other, and I didn't expect that.
It had to be said. It had to be said.
Yeah.
Could work, Danny. Yeah, but like you said, I mean, when Bush and Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney are your go-to circle, yeah, sorry, man, you ain't getting my trust. I don't trust you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Ryan literally said today he's going to throw like a temper tantrum if Donald Trump's the nominee. He's going to refuse to go to the nomination. Yeah, they're all backing Ron DeSanctimonious, as Trump calls him. Or Meatball Ron was another
Meatball
one.
Ron.
Yeah. He's got the nicknames down. Yeah.
Gotta love it. Can't wait to these debates.
Oh my
Trump
gosh, I
just on
can't wait for the
stage.
debates. I'm
Yeah,
so
hey,
excited
Meatball
for
Ron over there.
them.
Yeah, if you thought the "cause you'd be in jail" was a good one. Trump's been waiting for this for 4 years now. By the time we get to he's going to be throwing haymakers.
No, that you would have been in jail is the best thing that he has ever said.
Yeah.
A video never
But then
gets
it all
old.
goes back to once again. He said you'd be in jail, and then his own Justice Department betrayed him, and we couldn't prosecute her. It's just an endless cycle.
Never ending.
So.
Yep. We got a lot of work to do to save this country. First, we got to get Trump back, you know, and then the real work starts. We can't let the sanctimonious get anywhere near the White House. So that's our first steps. But Danny, where can people find you or Turning Point, your page? I know you have both of them. So where can people find you at?
They can find us at _OSU on Instagram. And yeah, you can find us there, learn more about the Charlie Kirk event. And yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming on. So that's going to wrap us up this week. Watch out for fake conservatives. The cartels are running Arizona. Stay safe. Your vote does not matter because the cartels run you. Ohio, you guys are screwed. Ukraine first. But I hope everyone had enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.